Hi everyone, it's Jen with Spirited Saturdays, and this week we are wrapping up our video series on attaining healthy body image and a healthy self-image. Excuse me. So this week's video is about body mastery and control, and I'm going to be talking about paying attention to our physical and emotional cues and instincts. And I'm going to be talking about how we can be free to make intuitive and mindful choices in all areas of our lives. So first, I'm going to talk about the mind-body connection and how we can feel both grounded and free in our bodies. And then I'm going to switch gears and talk about 9/11 and what it brings up for me in terms of instinct and intuition. I'm from New York, and so this has a personal, I feel personally connected to this, and I feel that I wanted to tie it in because I do think it definitely relates. So first of all, I feel like it's important to establish a connection within your body. I think establishing some interconnectedness means that you don't separate, you don't regard one part of your body as separate from another. For example, when it comes to eating disorders, part of my history with eating disorders is that I've had a problem with binging and overeating. And so often when I do that, I just associate, I tend to think of my needs and my wants from the neck up. I forget that there's this whole other part of my body that's like taking the brunt of this, and that it's just as much there as my neck up. I'm just not aware of it. Until I'm really forced to be aware of it, and then it just gets really uncomfortable, but that's not good. So here's some experiences that I've had that have helped me connect to my body and attribute a valuable presence to it as well. So here I go with this. Today was a great day. I went to a dance rehearsal today. I'm playing music in my friend's dance company. She choreographed a piece to my song for 3 dancers to dance to, and I will be playing it live in their show. And so I went to rehearsal today to practice that. And I wanted to talk, there's 2 pieces of this, because when I was playing it with them at the rehearsal, I felt like I was a part of it in so many ways. I felt like my mind, my body were all integrated. Sorry, let me start that over. I was integrated within my mind and body. That those 2 things were integrated. I was integrated with mind, body, and music, just the music piece. And then there was the other component of being integrated with the movement piece and feeling as though I was giving off an energy that was being received, and then they were giving off an energy that I was receiving, and we were feeding off of each other and connecting to each other in a very meaningful way, in a very almost primitive way. So, there's something about being a part of it, being in it. It's like you're sharing a body, kind of. You're all pieces of this body. You're all functioning and contributing very, equally important functions to the thriving, the survival, and the movement of this body, this one larger piece. But then the other piece of it was when I wasn't playing and I was just watching them do their other dances. I felt like I was, you know what, actually let me backtrack for just a minute, because I felt like being in that movement with them was reinforcing my own natural rhythm. I feel like dance has a way of reinforcing a person's natural rhythm and extending beyond dance. They're just kind of personifying what it means to go and follow the body's pulse and follow the body's natural rhythm. But really, that what comes into play is the body has a natural rhythm for moving, for sleeping, for breathing, for chewing, for all of that. And so we have to, it just kind of taught me that we have to honor those processes and let them unfold naturally, and let the entire process of eating be one that we can just go along with it. We don't have to. I'm trying to learn this. I mean, I'm still really getting a hold of this, but We don't have to exert any control over these things that come very naturally to us. So there can come a point where we can let go. And that's what I'm in the process of working on that. But this helped me see it in a different perspective tonight. So watching dancers, do their own thing, when I was just watching their other pieces, watching them become completely free, I see that there's a structure and a rhythm in that freedom, but the structure and the rhythm basically lets them totally let go, and they know that they could come back at any time, and there's a real bliss in letting go. So being around that, just watching them dance, actually made me feel freer and more comfortable in my body, and it was a really cool transition because I think at first being a part of that freedom and then separating myself from it and observing it, it made me feel connected to the whole process. And I felt like, just being an observer of them made me feel more flexible. It made me feel like I was just sitting down and I was starting to feel myself have a presence and enjoy that presence. And I felt freer to just like stretch up my arms or wiggle around or just play around with my body a little, and I wasn't exercising by any stretch, but I noticed myself becoming more aware of my body in a positive way, and that's how I left. So that was really, really powerful, and yeah, it's just really cool. So here's a way you can apply it to your life, because we're not all just going to go around going to dance rehearsals all the time, and that might not even be the thing that helps you. So if you can manage to let go and live according to your body's natural rhythms, it could go a long way in improving how you feel about your body. And so I suggest that observing others feeling comfortable, that might not be dance for you. And sometimes dance can be triggering depending on where you are in your eating disorder and body comparisons. But try watching people sing if dance is too triggering for you, or if it's just not your thing. Watching people sing or play instruments, like watch a saxophonist play, and watch musicians who are fully in line and attuned to their bodies, and watch how there's a natural rhythm that shows itself in movement as well, because it's going to unfold. Watch how musicians move and dance with their instruments, and you'll see that's a direct reflection of what's going on inside. You can really forget about weight or size when you're watching that. In that moment, you're in the moment, truly in the moment. That zaps you into the present, because something deeper is literally moving them. It's literally moving them, and that's what you're seeing. You're not just, you're not just seeing a body. That kind of zaps you out of the moment of looking at their size or at their weight. If you're really into the comparison mode, it can help. Connecting with your own body can also involve just holding your own hand in a tender way or in a tight grasp, whatever you need to do in that moment. It can also mean tensing and loosening your muscles to become aware and let go of the tension that you've held, as well as the presence of these muscles inside you that are keeping you strong. You can also imagine yourself as a tree, and do this. This is not a hokey thing. Your roots are firmly pressed into the earth, while your branches extend limitlessly. And you can squeeze your feet like you're digging them into the soil, and then feel them planted, and no one else has the power to move them. And so you can lift your arms up in any direction and in any movement and flow, because you know that even the strongest wind, the strongest storm cannot make it can make the branches go crazy. It can make them dance wildly while the whole tree remains strong and intact. And so this is not just a metaphor. This is really you. The tree is alive just as you are, and you bear the same strength. So this is not a metaphor. It's for real. So try it. All right. Another way of trying to get in touch with your body in a moment of body criticism is, if you find yourself not liking something about your body, ask yourself, what does this body part do for me? What is under the surface, and how is that working for me? How am I functional right now? How am I thriving right now because of what's underneath the body part that I don't like? So that's that piece of this. I want to shift now in the last few minutes to talking about 9/11. So I'm kind of just going to read a little bit of what I wrote, a little bit more verbatim than I've been doing. But so in light of 9/11, I'm from New York, and I feel very much zapped. Talk about, being the present. I feel zapped into the past and zapped into the present moment at the same time. Even more so, I'm watching some very heavy footage for the first time. And it's easy to highlight our primitive needs when watching and hearing this footage. It just highlights how, at the very core of us, there is a survival instinct. We may not be aware of it until we truly need it, but we need to trust that the better part of us wants to live. It will save us time and again, and it will be very strong for us. So if you look at eating disorders, they really are attempts to survive. They're coping mechanisms, much like self-injury. Often people who self-injure are not suicidal in that very moment. Rather, they are doing what they can to stay afloat. And this is what they know. So for that and for an eating disorder, the disorder serves some purpose. And it works on a diluted level, but the purpose it serves is not sustainable. The purpose it serves is not life-giving. The means by which you try to survive are killing you. So past that point, there may come a time when you feel so far gone that you are indifferent to your survival, and you want to sink into the eating disorder and let it eat you up, and you're not fighting back. But that isn't you anymore. You have to realize it's not you saying, I'm okay with dying. You never are, because it's in our evolution to not be okay with dying. It's not an evolution to be okay with dying. At that point, it's only the disorder talking. The disorder is only part of us. The disorder is the only part of us that seems to be okay with dying. The disorder will die too, but that just goes to show it isn't real like we thought it was. It doesn't have this power. It isn't a separate entity that dominates us, and part of the proof is that it doesn't go on living after we die from it. So try to realize that it's an illusion, and that what we really want, beneath the disorder, and beneath all the stuff that has happened to us in our lives that has contributed to developing a disorder, what we really do want is to survive. None of that canceled out our survival instinct. Sorry, I said that wrong. I said what we really do want to survive. None of that canceled out our survival instinct, and we always have the option to relearn how to access basic survival tools. And we don't need to be in life-threatening situations in order to practice these every day. The people in 9/11 who were stuck inside smoky rooms just wanted fresh air. Maybe they didn't realize how much they valued and needed fresh air before then, but every day is an opportunity to feed ourselves fresh air and appreciate taking a full breath. In the same way, every day is an opportunity for us to continually fuel ourselves with yummy food, adequate rest, and general self-care. We also need to validate our fear instinct, even when we are not in life-threatening situations. The same goes for sadness. Pay attention to and honor your sadness at any moment, understanding that it is a part of being human and it is a gift. Also, try to let down your guard and connect with people over genuine and warm, funny moments. This is also something that we can learn from 9/11, but it can also be separate. Try to let yourself laugh and smile alone too. Being alone can be quite blissful. Notice and feel the direct connection between you and your surroundings. Remember that you are never truly alone, so there is no need to become anxious or overwhelmed at the idea of being alone. It's great to have a balance, though, and not get too wrapped up in isolating either. Remember that you never have to be a certain way. So this is a real just a culminating statement of this whole theme, because it's been a really great theme to discuss these past few weeks. So just in general, you don't have to be a certain way. You are you, and that is enough. And that's actually more than enough, and that's how it should be. Embrace yourself, because you are a gift to this world and to anyone you come across. We talked about self-esteem, and so remember that you have unique qualities, gifts, talents to offer to this world, and that cannot be duplicated. The world needs you, and it needs you at your strongest. So that's that. I hope this helped, and yeah, enjoy yourselves. Okay, thanks.